two dual states, right? So right now, we've got the warm state, which means that this is behaving much like plasticine, and that's the whole idea of that. And then as it starts cooling down, we've got the two tools, right? So we've got, this is actually a finisher. The rake, which is the bigger one, which is curved, which you're welcome to go put teeth in, by the way, will very quickly remove material. Now, as you start working with the finisher, the idea is to work in different directions, right? But you'll find that it smooths out very much. One thing that I am noticing already, actually more on Tuesday's group, and I want you guys to be aware of it, is you do want to be cognizant of how much thickness you're putting on there in terms of making a realistic helmet. So if you only put on like ½ an inch, yeah, it might look okay, but it doesn't look okay because actually you don't have a helmet that's big enough. The other thing is that, just to remind you, and I should post this again, the tapes are actually an important aspect of defining details, right? So if you're creating a vent or something and you tape off the edge, that provides an edge towards you can work, and then you get a very clear, crisp definition. So all that being said, that's about sort of getting the best result. Finally, you use the slick here to really slick in the surface to get it very smooth. But that's very final, right? Before that, you should feel very comfortable just slapping on the clay, playing around with it, saying, hey guys, what do you think if we do this? And so on. As you kind of change it, it's hard to go back to where you were. So take some pictures, right, as you go through that and capture it. Then you have a bit of a record of what you were thinking. So it's almost like you could kind of treat it like a 3D sketch in essence, right? The other thing which I encourage you to do, which is real easy, is let's say you know that the general size is going to be yay big, right? But treat it as a smooth surface. You're wondering about the vents because you've got all these sketches, these wonderful sketches. And you're wondering, oh, should be this pattern of vent or this pattern. And so there's a couple of things you could do. You could put stickers on there. You could even get a black marker and marker it off. Another thing which you could do is quite effective, as you can see, is just take a picture, print it out, and sketch on it. Now you've got, it's kind of like you've got your underlay. And yeah, it's very rough, but it really starts giving you an idea, right? Even the visor is sketched on there. All these vents are just sketched on. There's nothing there, right? So very quickly, before actually carving it up, you could get a very good idea. And that might help you in another way, because what happens is that when you start putting vents and other features on compound surfaces, they might look good in this view, but when you turn it a little bit, it gets a funny curve in there. You know what I mean? And that's very common, because what's happening is that you have one curve intersecting a surface that's actually constantly changing. So moving that curve around a little bit with tape or with sketches or something, or drawing right on it, gets a better idea before you commit to actually doing it. So what I'm saying is, on one hand, just be very rough and play around to get the general idea. So it's almost that's your low fidelity. Okay, but it's the same material. Now you go to high fidelity. That's when you start treating it more like a sculpture, final exercise. And somewhere in between there, sketching actually fits wonderfully in there in terms of just printing some pictures out and drawing on them, or drawing right on there. Somebody asked me, well, if I draw on there, then, now I have a mark on there, right? Well, it's actually really easy to scrape that off again. Is it okay if I borrow somebody's marker here? Okay. So just draw like that. Okay, see the black on there? I don't know if it left enough black. Maybe anybody have a real flat black?
I think I have one in there.
Like, just a big, whatchamacallit?
Sharpie?
Sharpie? Right.
I don't have a Sharpie yet.
Is it similar? Okay. I'm not going to draw anything special here, just, okay? But the idea here is, okay, I've got this stuff on there and I want to get rid of it. So it comes off right away. See? It's not much to getting that off. It's almost like an eraser. So don't worry about doing that, okay? But it's probably not much point drawing and using a marker on it until it's smooth. Okay? So, yeah. Another thing I wanted to say is, like, if some of you guys think you want to use this material in the future at school, no problem borrowing these tools, right? But you could actually make your own here as well. If you wanted to have it after you graduate or for a summer job, if you want to work with this stuff, right? And because if you're going to buy the professional tools, they're quite expensive. So might be an idea for you guys to consider. Okay? All right.